Do you focus on the problem? Do you focus on solutions? We are the authors of our fortune and our misfortune. We are the producers of our future. We back, baby, with another reflection of the daily Vedantic, and today's reflection is on what this philosophy, this ancient philosophy, four oldest textbooks, philosophical textbooks known to man, the Vedas, with the end portion called the Upanishads. What does this philosophy and do these texts say about fate and free will? Well, it's actually really simple. This could be a very short episode. Swami says it best when he articulates it this way. You are a product of your past, but a producer of your future. Fate has brought you to this moment. You are a product of everything in the past. Cosmologically, your own past action, treatment of others, this is not that much of a stretch to imagine how this is the case. You could not escape this present moment. You can't. We all know that feeling of helplessness when we feel like, I can't, how do I get out of this? When it feels like the walls might be closing in some realm of life or another. You are a product of your past. It's not just that it's inescapable, it's also very clear and explicit that you are a product of your past actions, judgments, misjudgments have led to this exact moment. But the point is still very sobering that you cannot escape it. What can we do then? Fate, so to speak, has brought us. Fate out of our own creation has brought us to this very moment that we cannot escape. But we are the producers of our future. We have the free will to make any decisions across any vector of life that we currently find ourselves in to produce our future and all of the scenarios we'd find ourselves in subsequently. At the end of the day, it's not our external circumstances that create our internal thoughts, feelings, emotions, reflections, our inner state. Our inner state is created by, what we give our attention to. Our realities, our entire realities, essentially come down to what we give our attention to. You can be reading a book so engrossed in that book that someone 5 feet away talking to you is inaudible. They are invisible to your reality. I know that's the case when I'm watching anything on the TV. If there's moving images on an electrical screen, I am locked in, hyper-focused, that I can barely hear anything that's happening around me. It's the case when you have a meeting with HR the next day that gets added to your calendar that you didn't know about. It's the case when here in LA, beautiful home that we get to rent here, got a phone call 10 days ago saying, hey, the owner saying, hey, I'm going through a divorce and I might need to sell the house. So you all might need to move. And you say, oh my God, everything was so perfect. Just got out of the water surfing. Was reflecting on how amazing this home is. Investing in the attachment to the home, to be honest. And now it's like the world is turned upside down. Gonna have to find a new house that can fit. It's suitable for 3 little kids. For all of our pet attachments and desires that we have accumulated. But that is the nature of renting and not owning. We are the products of our past, producers of our future. You get some news like that. And do you shrink? You might feel the pull to shrink. Your mind might go through every negative or worst case scenario. Do you shrink, or do you go through all those worst case scenarios? Or do you look them straight in the eye, that meeting with HR, the worst case scenario and the potential health diagnosis, the world getting flipped upside down right in front of you? Do you go through all those worst case scenarios and make plans for each of them? Do you shrink and shudder? Or do you hit it head on? Do you focus on the problem? Do you focus on solutions? Do you invest in a mentality of helplessness? Or does your intellect jump in and say, okay, that's not helping anything? To delude myself thinking that, well, I'm going to be a product of my future too. Other people are deciding everything about my future circumstance. Or does your intellect jump in and say, no, actually, we can make one hell of a difference if we start to think through solutions, if we start to do what's needed to get clarity in the situation? Instead of shrink and shudder, we start to focus on what we are capable of doing in that scenario, on the potential solutions at hand, and a faith that, okay, I've been through tough, really hard shit before, and I actually came out cleaner on the other side. You and you alone produce your future, your peace, your prosperity. Prosperity is in your control. Do your means supersede your desires? Or do you blindly accumulate so many desires that they overwhelm your means? Your peace, does your understanding supersede your conflict? Are you investing in cultivation of your understanding and wisdom and ability to see clearly? Or are you getting lost in conflict after conflict, not investing in your capability to see the end in the beginning before the conflict even starts? That's what we're all after. That's what this philosophy tells us explicitly, that we are all chasing is peace and prosperity, not one or the other, but both. And they are both in our control. They are both inner states, independent of external circumstance. And where is this factory of these inner states? Where are they created? Well, obviously, they're created within us. Who runs the factory and owns the land? Well, you. Me. We are the producers of our future. Yes, we are the products of our past, but we make ourselves. We mar ourselves. We are the authors of our fortune and our misfortune. We alone are the producers of our future. It's a hell of a reins to pick up, especially if someone has invested years and decades in a narrative of, well, it's up to someone else. Good or bad, it's not me. But man, when you can pick up those reins and become the author of your future, when you can take on that responsibility, when you can digest that, yes, you are the product of your past, but you are the producer of the future, you can produce a future of infinite bliss. And all along the way, even regular, good old-fashioned, mundane bliss as well. A bliss that is felt within, a peace and prosperity that you can tap into, no matter what is happening around us. That is what this philosophy says about fate and free will. Beautifully succinct. Just like every other aspect of this philosophy. One hell of a knowledge bomb. You are the product of your past and you are the producer of your future. That is today's reflection on the Daily Vedantic. We'll see you next time.